I guess they think that I'm just Fred Sanford, and so if they don't have a partner for Fred, there's nothing else left. So Red is dead, even without Fred.
Red Fox was a standout figure in comedy and entertainment. Rising to prominence as one of the most influential African-American comedians of his time, he captivated audiences with his sharp wit and daring style, quickly becoming a beloved icon. Despite his success, his outspoken criticism of Hollywood often put him at odds with the industry, ultimately costing him both his wealth and, tragically, his life. So, why did Red Fox refuse to sell his soul to Hollywood, and how did he pay for it? It's quite ironic when you think about it. Despite his immense talent and contributions to comedy, Red Fox never received the respect he deserved. He was often frustrated with how he was treated, especially when he discovered that his role on a show amounted to little more than walking across the set, something anyone could have done. This revelation left him furious. In his later years, Red Fox lived in Las Vegas, a city he called home for 21 years. There, he continued to make nightclub appearances when he felt inspired and financially motivated. His third marriage had ended, and he spent much of his time at home, trying to recover by sleeping through the day. Alongside his Las Vegas residence, Fox owned homes in Los Angeles and St. Louis, and he had a collection of 3 Mercedes cars. Despite his success and popularity, Fox was deeply bitter about his career. He felt exploited by dishonest associates and victimized by what he saw as rampant racism in the entertainment industry. He once expressed his frustration, saying, "I've been cheated more than most people because I'm gullible and I'm a target. My heart is open, and I listen to people, and I believe their sob stories." Fox was outspoken about his disdain for Hollywood, often comparing the racial prejudice he faced to the stench of a skunk's armpit. For years, Red Fox's critical views on Hollywood had a profound impact on his career. His outspoken criticisms resulted in a lack of financial compensation, missed opportunities, and fewer awards and leverage than he deserved. This ongoing struggle seemed to cast a shadow over every aspect of his professional life. While Fox could electrify audiences with his sharp humor and boundary-pushing antics on stage, his off-stage demeanor was markedly different. Away from the spotlight, he often appeared gloomy and dispirited. In the privacy of his dressing room, he was polite and courteous, but a sense of fatigue and melancholy was always present. When asked about his future aspirations, Fox would respond with a shrug, as if the idea of what lay ahead was inconsequential. "Not too much," he would say, reflecting on his perspective that material possessions lose their significance as one age. "All you can gain is material things, and when you get to be 60, material things don't mean so much. You don't have that long left to enjoy them." With a sigh, he would add, "I'd just like some peace of mind." Red Fox, once known for his extravagant lifestyle and a fleet of luxury cars, earned millions from his iconic role in Sanford and Son. However, despite his financial success, he faced severe economic troubles. By 1983, he was forced to file for bankruptcy protection, citing overwhelming debts. His financial woes were compounded by legal issues when the Internal Revenue Service, IRS, seized his home, and 7 of his vehicles due to unpaid income taxes from 1983 to 1986. The IRS had filed liens totaling $755,000 against Fox's property, but the actual amount owed was significantly higher due to penalties and accrued interest on the back taxes. Fox's once thriving career took a hit as he lost other assets, including properties in Los Angeles, following his bankruptcy filing. He continued to perform in Las Vegas, where his comedy routine remained a popular fixture on the nightlife scene. Reflecting on his troubles, Fox expressed regret that he hadn't reached out to his show business friends for assistance. "I could have contacted Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, or Frank Sinatra," he said. "I've been helpful to a lot of people, and if I had known the IRS was going to seize my property, I would have asked for their help." After IRS agents stripped his home down to just a bed, Redd Foxx was forced to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in 1983. At the time, he owed $1.6 million in back taxes to the IRS from before 1983 and over $800,000 to various other creditors. Despite his significant financial struggles, Foxx remained a notable figure in Las Vegas, where he was a prominent showroom headliner for many years. In 2010, more than 18 years after Foxx's death, Clark County Public Administrator John J. Cahill announced that the rights to Foxx's life story would be marketed through probate court. Although there had been a range of offers from $20,000 to $2 million for the rights over the years, these discussions never progressed beyond preliminary meetings and negotiations. Foxx's final years were marked by continued financial and personal challenges. Just before his death, the IRS foreclosed on his home on Eastern Avenue, a property rumored to be haunted. Redd Foxx passed away without leaving a will, deeply in debt and entangled with the IRS. Comedian Eddie Murphy, known for his generosity, reportedly covered the costs of Foxx's lavish funeral. At the time of his death, Foxx owed the IRS a staggering $3.5 million. Even though the rights to his life story might fetch millions, the proceeds are unlikely to make a significant impact on Clark County's financial issues. Cahill noted that if a movie producer were to pay $1 million for the rights, the county would receive only about $2,150. John J. Cahill, the Clark County Public Administrator, emphasized that the estate is confident it owns the rights to Foxx's life story, despite past confusion and questions. Ensuring that the rights are clear and available is crucial for attracting buyers. The primary goal is to settle Foxx's estate, pay off all owed taxes, and provide financial benefits to his heirs. Foxx did not have any biological children, but he adopted Debria Foxx, the daughter of Betty Jean Harris, the second of his 4 wives. Debria, who was once the estate's administrator, along with Kahu, who was married to Foxx for the last 3 months of his life, are believed to be his sole heirs. In Nevada, it's typical for public administrators to oversee estate auctions, which are usually low-key events announced in local newspapers. However, it's unusual for someone as famous as Redd Foxx to pass away without a will and in financial trouble, making the involvement of a public administrator like John J. Cahill quite rare. By 2006, the IRS lien on Foxx's estate remained unresolved. That year, probate judge relieved Debria Foxx of her responsibilities for reasons not specified, and the estate was placed under the jurisdiction of the public administrator. Cahill, who assumed the role in 2007, inherited the case. As we reviewed various cases, this one surfaced, Cahill explained. I saw that not much progress had been made and questioned my staff about why it was still open. Soon after, Cahill was approached by a potential buyer and an unnamed Hollywood actor who made an initial offer of $220,000. Shortly thereafter, a more aggressive offer of $2 million was made. Neither offer materialized into a finalized deal, but it marked the beginning of serious interest. Recognizing the complexity of selling movie rights, Cahill decided to hire professionals to handle the marketing and negotiation process. The sale of Foxx's life story rights will proceed through a courtroom auction. All terms, conditions, and rights will be clearly defined and locked in, but the highest bid from a qualified buyer will ultimately secure the deal. Should a more advantageous offer arise during the auction, it could potentially supersede any preliminary agreements. Essentially, the rights to Foxx's life story are being treated like real property. Cahill urged, "Write extensively about this. I want every producer in Hollywood to be aware of the opportunity." But how did Redd Foxx, once a star on the hit TV show Sanford and Son, end up dying in financial ruin? Despite his success, Foxx faced significant challenges that ultimately contributed to his downfall. Among the reasons was his outspoken nature, which led to him being blackballed by Hollywood. Foxx was known for his edgy and controversial humor, which often pushed boundaries. One notable example from Sanford and Son featured a scene where Foxx's character, Sanford, made a provocative joke about racial profiling. Sanford: "Listen, why don't you arrest some white drivers, officer?" Officer: "I do." Sanford: "You do? Well, where are they? Look at all these expletive in here. Look around. It's enough expletive to make a Tarzan movie." While the line was delivered with humor, it tackled a sensitive topic: the use of the N-word. This was particularly provocative given that it was less than a decade after the Civil Rights Movement and the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. Foxx's willingness to address such a charged issue in a comedic context was seen by some as bold and others as disrespectful. His fearless approach to comedy allowed him to connect with his audience on topics that were often considered taboo. Foxx was unapologetic about his style, often stating on his show, "He ain't afraid to give you one across the lips." This fearless attitude was not only a hallmark of his comedy, but also extended to how he navigated public opinions and industry standards. However, this same fearless approach contributed to his alienation from Hollywood, impacting his career and financial stability in the long run. To fully grasp the reasoning behind Redd Foxx's decisions and actions throughout his life, let's take a moment to explore the early events that shaped him and influenced his decisions. John Elroy Sanford, born on December 9, 1922 in St. Louis, Missouri, grew up on the south side of Chicago. His father, Freddie Sanford, originally from Hickman, Kentucky, served in World War I with the 823rd Company of the U.S. Army Transportation Corps. After the war, Fred worked as an electrician and auto mechanic, but left the family sometime after 1930. Sanford was raised primarily by his half-Seminole mother, Mary Hughes, from Ellisville, Mississippi, along with his grandmother and a minister. Growing up during a time of intense racial tension in the United States, Sanford's early experiences significantly shaped his views on race and humor. He attended DuSable High School in Chicago's Bronzeville neighborhood, where he was contemporaries with future Chicago Mayor Harold Washington. Sanford had two older brothers, Fred Jr. and Leonard, who both passed away shortly after birth. At the age of 16, on July 27, 1939, Sanford made his radio debut on the Major Bowes Amateur Hour as part of the Jump Swinging Six. During the 1940s, he became friends with Malcolm Little, who would later be known as Malcolm X. Both men, distinguished by their reddish hair, were nicknamed Chicago Red and Detroit Red, respectively. In Malcolm X's autobiography, Sanford is described as the funniest dishwasher on this earth. During World War II, Sanford managed to avoid the draft by consuming half a bar of soap before his physical examination, which caused heart palpitations and led to his exemption. On September 30, 1946, Sanford recorded 5 songs for the Savoy label under the direction of Teddy Reeg, marking the beginning of his diverse career in entertainment. Foxx's provocative nightclub performances gained significant popularity, leading to a pivotal moment in his career. His breakthrough came when singer Dinah Washington personally urged him to bring his act to Los Angeles. There, at the Brass Rail nightclub, Foxx caught the attention of Dootsy Williams, the founder of Dutone Records. Foxx was among the first black comedians to perform for predominantly white audiences on the Las Vegas Strip, a milestone that helped solidify his place in the entertainment world. His success in Las Vegas led to a long-term contract, allowing him to release a series of comedy albums across several record labels. These albums quickly garnered a devoted following and became cult classics. Foxx reached the pinnacle of his fame with the television sitcom Sanford and Son, an American adaptation of the British series Steptoe and Son. In this hit show, Foxx portrayed Fred G. Sanford, a character named after both his father and brother. His on-screen son, Lamont, was played by Demond Wilson. The sitcom centered on Fred and Lamont, who ran a junk and salvage store in Watts, California. Their comedic adventures and interactions provided a humorous take on everyday life, while also addressing racial themes and prejudices. Sanford and Son premiered on NBC on January 14, 1972, and quickly became a staple of American television, running for 6 seasons. However, Fox's relationship with the show's producers was strained. In 1974, Tandem Productions, the show's producer, filed a $10 million lawsuit, equivalent to about $48.1 million today, against Foxx for failing to appear for the start of the new season's taping. Despite this legal conflict, the show remained popular and continued to entertain audiences until its final episode aired on March 25, 1977. Sanford and Son was known for its memorable running gags and Fred Sanford's signature antics. Whenever Fred was exasperated with his son Lamont, he would often exclaim, "You big dummy!" In moments of mock outrage or distress, Fred would theatrically clutch his chest and proclaim, "Oh, this is the big one! You hear that, Elizabeth? I'm coming to join you, honey." A nod to his late wife, whom he frequently referenced in his dramatic outbursts. Another recurring joke was Fred's complaint about arthritis to avoid work, where he would display his cramped hand to Lamont as if it were a serious ailment. Although Foxx was actually 48 when filming began for the show's first season, he played a character in his 60s, adding a layer of comedy to his portrayal. Foxx also used his high-profile role to help launch the careers of several friends and fellow performers. He brought notable talents such as LaWanda Page, Slappy White, Gregory Sierra, Don Bexley, Bay Richards, Stymybeard, Leroy Daniels, Ernest Mayhand, and Pat Morita onto the show, offering them opportunities to showcase their skills and gain wider recognition. Demond Wilson, reflecting on his time with Sanford and Son, mentioned that he lost touch with his co-stars, including Redd Foxx, after the series ended. He last saw Foxx around 1983 while playing tennis at the Malibu Racquet Club. At that time, producers approached Wilson about participating in a Redd Foxx 50th anniversary special. Although he hadn't been in contact with Foxx since 1977, he reached out and met Foxx at his office. However, Foxx was notably distant during their meeting, which led Wilson to advise the producers against the special. In his memoir, Second Banana, Wilson expressed that despite not having any personal issues with Foxx, he was hurt by how the show's cancellation was handled. Although Foxx's decision to leave the show in 1977 was disappointing, Wilson was more upset that he learned about it from a newscaster in the NBC hallway rather than directly from Foxx. Despite these feelings, Wilson emphasized that there was no animosity between them, and he still held a deep respect and affection for Foxx. Their on-screen chemistry, as seen in any episode of the show, reflected the genuine bond they shared. In 1977, Redd Foxx left Sanford and Son after 6 successful seasons to pursue a new project. He starred in a short-lived ABC variety show, which contributed to the cancellation of his iconic NBC series. Foxx made a return to the role of Fred G. Sanford in a revivaled spin-off titled Sanford, which aired briefly in 1980 but failed to capture the audience's interest. In 1986, Foxx attempted a comeback with The Redd Foxx Show on ABC. Despite his efforts, the series was short-lived, running only 12 episodes before being canceled due to poor ratings. During this period, Foxx also made a memorable appearance on the Donnie and Marie Show's Star Wars special, where he portrayed an Obi-Wan Kenobi-like character and humorously referenced the fictional planet Sanford, which he described as having no sun. Foxx's final notable appearance was in the 1989 film Harlem Nights, written, directed, and produced by Eddie Murphy, who also starred in the film. Redd Foxx made a notable comeback with the short-lived series The Royal Family, where he starred alongside Della Reese. Despite high hopes, the show did not achieve long-term success. During the late 1970s and early 1980s, Fox also ventured into business with a unique enterprise on Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood. He launched Red Fox's Car Velvetizing, a service that specialized in adding a fuzzy, velvety texture to the vinyl roofs of vehicles, particularly those popular at the time, known colloquially as pimp mobiles. This business capitalized on the trend of customizing luxury cars with distinctive plush finishes. Red Fox had 4 marriages throughout his life, each marking a significant chapter in his personal journey. His first marriage was to Evelyn Killebrew in 1948. However, this union was short-lived, and they divorced in 1951. On July 5, 1956, Fox married Betty Jean Harris, a showgirl and dancer who was also a colleague of LaWanda Page, known for her role as Aunt Esther on Sanford and Son. Fox and Harris met while performing at the same nightclub. According to their agreement, Harris left her career in show business to become a full-time housewife. She also managed Fox's business affairs, including his company, Red Fox Enterprises, which had a chain of record stores in Los Angeles. During their marriage, Harris's 9-year-old daughter, Debrasa, was adopted by Fox and took on his surname. The couple's relationship began to deteriorate in the early 1970s, largely due to Fox's infidelity. In 1974, after 18 years of marriage, Fox filed for divorce, citing incompatibility. The divorce proceedings were contentious, with Fox obtaining a restraining order to prevent Harris from removing or hiding property from their home in Las Vegas. Additionally, she was required to return $110,000 that had been withdrawn from their joint bank accounts. Fox's absence from Debraca's wedding in 1975 further highlighted the strained nature of their relationship. Red Fox's third marriage was to Joy Yun-Chi Chung, a cocktail waitress from Korea whom he met shortly after her arrival in the United States. The couple wed at the Thunderbird Hotel in Las Vegas on December 31, 1976. Joy, who was 20 years younger than Fox, worked at the Las Vegas Hilton, where they crossed paths. Their marriage encountered difficulties, and Fox filed for divorce in October 1979. Joy countered with her own divorce suit, accusing Fox of cruelty. During the divorce proceedings, Fox publicly declared to Jet magazine, "I've been married 3 times and I'm out," and expressed his frustration with the financial costs of divorce, stating, "I'd rather have kids because when I give up all this money on divorce, it should go to the children and not some guy." The divorce was finalized in 1981, with Fox agreeing to a $300,000 settlement. In July 1991, Fox married his 4th wife, Kaho Cho, whom he met at Bally's Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. Kaho, also from Seoul, South Korea, stood by Fox through his financial troubles with the IRS. Despite having previously denounced marriage after his 3rd divorce, Fox explained to Jet magazine that his decision to marry Cho was influenced by her loyalty during his difficult times. Fox humorously remarked, "She saw me with a nickel, and hopefully she will see me with $1. I'll give her 75 cents of it." The couple exchanged vows at the Little Church of the West in Las Vegas, followed by a reception at the Hacienda Hotel. On October 11, 1991, Red Fox suffered a fatal heart attack on the set of The Royal Family during a break from rehearsals. At the time, Fox was engaged in a conversation with a reporter from Entertainment Tonight. The scene he was slated to perform was not yet ready, so Fox and co-star Della Reese were rehearsing. Fox's role in the scene was minimal, just walking across the back of a chair, and he was visibly upset by the situation. Despite his agitation, he completed his part of the rehearsal. Moments later, he collapsed on the floor. Della Reese, who was accustomed to Fox's tendency to fake heart attacks as part of his comedic act on Sanford and Son, initially thought he was joking. It wasn't until Fox, showing genuine distress, repeatedly asked for his wife that Reese realized the gravity of the situation. She immediately called for paramedics. The irony of the situation was noted by Joshua Rich of Entertainment Weekly, who observed that castmates briefly believed Foxx was playing one of his classic pranks. Foxx was temporarily resuscitated and rushed to Queen of Angels Hollywood Presbyterian Medical Center. Despite efforts to revive him, he was pronounced dead 4.5 hours after arrival. Red Foxx was laid to rest at Palm Memorial Park, also known as Palm Eastern Cemetery, in Las Vegas, Nevada. The funeral and burial arrangements were fully covered and managed by his longtime friend, Eddie Murphy. Foxx's mother, Mary Sanford Carson, who had been in and out of a coma for several years, survived him by 2 years. She passed away in 1993 and is buried beside her son. Red Fox's impact on comedy is deeply felt across generations. Comedian and actor Richard Pryor, in an interview with Ebony magazine in 1990, acknowledged Foxx as a significant source of inspiration and encouragement, which helped him embrace his own comedic voice. Chris Rock also credits Foxx as a major influence, referencing an episode of his show Everybody Hates Chris, where young Chris Rock is inspired by his parents' Red Fox albums and begins performing stand-up routines at school. Jamie Foxx chose his professional surname to honor Red Fox, reflecting the deep respect he holds for the comedian. Additionally, Pat Morita, who was mentored by Foxx during his early nightclub days, regards him as a formative influence. On Jimmy Kimmel Live, Eddie Murphy praised Red Fox as the most naturally funny person he had ever met, highlighting his extraordinary comedic talent. Red Fox's career was a remarkable blend of talent, resilience, and uncompromising authenticity. His influence on comedy and entertainment extends far beyond his own time, shaping the careers of numerous comedians and actors who followed in his footsteps. From his groundbreaking role on Sanford and Son to his bold, unapologetic humor, Fox's legacy remains a powerful testament to his impact on the industry. How do you think Red Fox's refusal to conform to Hollywood's expectations shaped his career and personal life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Red Fox's remarkable story, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more content to support us. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay tuned.